We'll start with Mangalachala. सातवें पद। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा द्वयं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतकमलं श्रीवैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देव श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरवसे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री सादि गौरभक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे। Okay, so last time क्या discuss हुआ? We'll go very quickly. 2.7 क्या था? So we discussed in 2.7 where Arjun has surrendered to Lord Krishna. शिष्यस्ते साधिमा प्रपन्नम. Right. So now we'll see what happened next. I'll go early. Try to not sleep in the class. And you also try the same thing. अगर मैं सो रहा हूँ तो जगा दे देगा. Switch off fan. I can survive. I don't know about others. हाँ? अगर मैं सो गया तो जगा दे देगा. ठीक, तो we'll start in 2.2. So in 2.7, so till here Arjuna has given all his logics why he does not want to fight, and then he could not understand, like he's so confused, perplexity we discussed last time, like he's so perplexed, confused that इतना लॉजिक दे दिया बट स्टिल जैसे हमारे साथ क्या होता है when we give all the logics and then we are like okay now I've given all my logic I should be someone who has upper hand. That's what we think. But Arjuna, being a devotee, he's a great scholar, he understands that even though I've given all the logic, probably something is missing, right? I'm just giving excuses or logics for the sake of it. Maybe it's not correct. He understands that, and that's why he said that okay, matlab, I'm still confused, so I'm coming to your sharanagati. I'm surrendering to you. He says to Lord Krishna, and then we'll see next what happens in 2.8. Repeat after me. न हि प्रपश्यामि ममापनुद्यात् यच्छोकम् उच्छोषणम् इन्द्रियाणाम् अवाप्य भूमावसपन्नमृतम् राज्यं सुराणामपि चाधिपत्यम् न हि प्रपश्यामि ममापनुद्यात् यच्छो कम्पुच्छो षड इंद्रिय अवाप्य भूमावसपत्नवृद्धं राज्यं सुराणामपि चाधिपत्यम्. Anyone from Prabhu's side? Going. Nahi प्रपस्य यच्छो कम्पुच्छो सड़म इंद्रिय अवाप्य भूमावसपत्नवृद्धं राज्यं सुराणामपि चाधिपत्यम्. Anyone other side? नाहि प्रपश्यामि यच्छ्रोतमुच्छ्रो सर्वेन्द्रियाणि अवाप्य सर्वमिदं राज्यं The translation by His Divine Grace is Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada. I can find no means to drive away this grief, which is drying up my senses. I will not be able to dispel it, even if I win a prepos- prosperous, unrivaled kingdom on earth, with sovereignty like the demigods in heaven. So Arjuna is continuing his, like in previous verse he has surrendered, and now he's saying that still I am not able to get away from my grief. मतलब इतना जो दुख है मुझे, I am not able to resolve that all pain which I am having, right? And which is drying up my senses. And very important thing he says that, which we'll discuss again in detail, that even if someone gives me the kingdom offer, like the demigods have, like Indra have on Swarg, right? He has a unrivaled kingdom. But no one goes except some once in a while some demon goes and throws him away. कि अब स्वर्ग पे मेरा राज है. Otherwise, no other devata they claim on right on the स्वर्ग की अब Indra हटो अब मैं king, right? Unrivaled. So he said that even if someone gives me unrivaled kingdom on earth, I don't want that also, right? This is the state he is having right now. So Srila Prabhupada mentioned in his purport, like although Arjuna was putting forward so many arguments based on knowledge of the principle of religion and moral codes, we saw that all his logics, these were not some mental speculation logic. These were all from the Shastra. And he says that also at the end that this is what I have heard, this is what I have learned from my disciplic successor. It is not something which is made up, just हम कई बार एक्सक्यूज बना देते हैं साइकिल पंक्चर हो गई लाइक दैट राइट भले साइकिल से ना है बट नॉट समथिंग मेड अप एवरीथिंग ही एक्चुअली what learned these all are from the scriptures these all are शास्त्र से संबंधित so after giving so many arguments and moral code it appears that he was unable to solve the real problem without the help of his spiritual master he understood that I will still be not able to solve the problem. Right. So he surrenders to Lord Krishna. He could understand that his so-called knowledge was useless in driving away his problems, which were drying up his whole existence, and it was impossible for him to solve such perplexity without the help of his spiritual master, like Lord Krishna. So, important line which I have highlighted: academic knowledge, scholarships, high position, etc. All are useless in solving the problems of life. I know यूनिवर्सिटी से जो लोग आए हैं उनको बहुत ही but they'll be feeling very bad. Then what I'm doing there? Right. See, it does not mean here that you should stop studying or you should stop working or you should stop earning well. Right. It does not mean that. But then this is a fact that just because someone is so much studious, He's a brilliant person does not mean he's a great person in life also. Especially, I can give you example of India's top administrative officers coming from IAS. They spend their years mugging up all those facts, and when they actually go on the ground, they don't know any single thing. This is the story. Well, this is the real fact, right? Why there is so much problem in India? They don't know how to solve the problem of people's life. क्योंकि उनकी दुनिया उनकी किताबों तक ही सीमित है. When they actually go in the real life, they can't understand. They can't even cope up with that. That's why there is a lot of discussion nowadays ki bring those people who are actually working on the ground, who know the ground reality rather than रट के आके एग्जाम दे दिए 100 out of 100 OMR sheet भर दिया you are selected. Not like that. And we have seen that a lot of people so knowledgeable still most of the suicide happens in IIT. Isn't that a fact? Those are not brilliant people. Those are brilliant minds. But this is a fact that these things just because I've gotten some scholarship, I have so much knowledge, I've done my PhD, that will not solve real problems in life. Most depressed people also you see are the most educated ones. Right? Whether you say in the office, you say in your academics or anywhere nearby. Right? So all these problems, career, health, home, family, bills, love, more importantly, especially in the college. Right? No one teaches in the college or no book teaches in the college how to solve this problem. And probably बुढ़े होने तक भी नहीं पता चलता जब तक कि छोड़ के न चले जाए. Future, work, money, security, all these problems, debt, budget, कुछ भी नहीं. Nothing we can solve. So help can only be given by a spiritual master like Krishna. So when the problem comes, we don't try to find any problem comes. Let's say take example of career problem. We don't try to find जो हम सबसे ज़्यादा career में progressed बंदा हो. Let me go and ask him. Do we do that? Or you have some problem in your studies? Do you find कि जो सबसे ज़्यादा पढ़ने वाला बच्चा हो, let me go to that person and I'll ask him. Whom do you go to? Where do you go generally when you have the problem in life? टीचर कितने कितने प्रॉब्लम आप टीचर से पूछने का हो मतलब आई डोंट स्कूल में भी मैं तो नहीं जाता था मतलब आई रेयरली गो टू टीचर टू आस्क नॉट दैट प्रॉब्लम x plus y is equal to not that problem I'm talking about real life problem friends right who can guide you who can listen to you उसको जरूरी नहीं कि he has to be top scholar of the college to understand your problem someone who can actually guide you at that time that friend actually plays the role of your master like a guru भले short term के लिए से right so Arjun or Krishna they were also like friends बचपन से ही साथ में थे they were playing together they did all this thing together and here till now also before 2.7 Arjuna was treating Krishna as a friend only जैसे सखा हो ये नहीं करेंगे फ्रेंड को आप एक्सक्यूज देते ना पढ़ाई नहीं why didn't you pass the exam अरे यार ये था वो था ऐसे किया वैसे किया hundreds of excuses right and we already know the truth actually why we did not pass the exam सिंपल सी बात है पढ़ाई नहीं की ठीक ठीक but हमारे पास we'll always have ready-made 100 excuses so that's what Arjuna is trying to do here he was giving all the excuses ये हो जाएगा this will happen that will happen all those things but in the end he understands that something is off something is missing so he says that I'm still not able to understand so you only guide me like we go to our friends to guide us they don't have to be highly qualified people they have to be just the people who can listen to us who can understand us right so, therefore, the conclusion is that the spiritual master, who is 100% Krishna conscious, is the bona fide spiritual master. For he can solve the problems in life. Lord Chaitanya said that one who is master of science of Krishna consciousness, regardless of social position, is the real spiritual master. Kiba vipra kiba न्यासी सूत्र के निनाया यही कृष्ण तत्व वेता है सही गुरु है मतलब someone who knows the Krishna tattva who is expert in the Krishna tattva he only can give Krishna right we discussed last time एक भक्ति आपको बता सकता है कि भक्ति कैसे करनी है only bhakt can tell you how to do bhakti or only a devotee can tell you how to be devotional not someone who has known who knows all the Sanskrit meaning of all the verses he cannot tell you how to do bhakti because he himself doesn't Okay. So in this verse, what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that he ठीक he says that विप्र मतलब ब्राह्मण कौन विप्र है कौन सन्यासी है ठीक है कौन शूद्र है उससे कोई मतलब नहीं है there's no meaning of like who is what right someone who knows the Krishna tattva who has experienced it not just known but who has experienced it only they can be guru no one else can be guru so so all our knowledge, we can discuss all the cases, right? All our knowledge, like if you see currently, the world is bewildered in a lot of problems. There's a war happening in three, four places. Yesterday, one more war started in Southeast Asia. Thailand and Cambodia, right? All top class people, all wealthy people, all scholars. Still, one after one war is happening, and no one is able to solve the problem. Right. Everyone is perplexed. What India is thinking, क्या करें इस पाकिस्तान का? We are thinking from last 80 years. ठीक. Pakistan is thinking इनका क्या कर दें? Everyone is doing their US is thinking how to raise some more taxes. ठीक है. And make life miserable for everyone here and there. Right. So everyone is trying their best to make more problems. Trying to solve the problem, creating more problems. Right, it's society, and no one understand, no one knows how to solve this problem. Huh, Madhuri? You question. But then that's what guru is, right? वो कैसे मतलब आपका क्वेश्चन है वो कैसे क्या वो कैसे लोग होते हैं या वो कैसे आप पता see how can you experience Krishna Tattva? Right, we are not at that level first of all, right? But those people who have actually experienced it, when you listen to them, you will understand that they have actually someone who have experienced the Krishna Tattva. Right, the way they talk, their experiences, the way they share. That's what, matlab, they cannot show you Krishna directly, right? But you have to go for the world. If we discussed what is the qualification of a guru? Guru Shastra Sadhu, right? Someone who is following the Shastra, someone uh, who is telling the same thing what other peers of his own generation, what his guru is saying, like the same as it is his saying. These are the only people who can be guru, not someone who are just my Gita writers. Like because I think Gita means that, and let's say I know केवल एक example मुझे याद आता है, right? My Gita, because that name itself is my Gita. What is my Gita? मेरा गीत. Who's going to listen to your गीत? Who are you? मतलब भगवत गीता में song of God. My Gita. Okay. So, not someone like that, right? So, two, three things. It has to come from disciplic succession. Guru Sisya Parampara follow honi chahiye. Second thing, it has to be Shastra ke anusar. He should not be talking anything out of from the scripture, right? Like not his mental concoction, कुछ भी बोल रहा है कि शायद मुझे ऐसा लगता है. Not like that, right? And third thing, he should follow the like the what his peers are also saying. जैसे हम साइंस कोई भी साइंस जर्नल यूनिवर्सिटी पीपल दे कैन कनेक्ट मे बी टू दैट मोर साइंस जर्नल whenever we publish any white paper or any paper research paper it has to be peer reviewed, right? It cannot be just someone wrote and it will be accepted. It has to be peer reviewed, goes for all the H score and index and whatever it is. Right, nowadays it keeps on changing, right? And then only people accept, okay, now this is authentic. So authenticity, that has to be there. Any Tom, Dick, and Harry cannot have the authenticity. Right. So that is a very important thing. Whenever we are trying to find a guru, these things we have to keep in mind. And Krishna Tattva kaise hai? Not everyone can understand it. But then when you see such people, when you listen to them, you will actually understand this person has something, what he is explaining. Not just blabbering like me here. Right. So only those people can be guru. So so we're discussing the world problems, right? All the problems, no solution. No one knows how to solve it. One after one, problems are keep on coming. All the military power, technology, advancement, scientific advancement. Well, think of a time like 50, 100 years back. our forefathers were so happy. They did not have all those things. No bike, no car. In a colony एक टीवी होती थी. And that also came जब रामायण आया था. उससे पहले शायद वो भी नहीं होता था. रेडियो लोग सुनते थे. But they were so happy. Now we have everything at home and we are sad people. All the technological advancement, all the earning. Like what we are earning right now, मतलब आप लोग को थोड़ा मैं exclude कर रहा हूँ यहाँ पे, but what the IT people are earning right now, हमारे in a year, right? Our fathers earn like in many years all together. अगर पूरे आप उनकी पूरी जिंदगी जोड़ लीजिए तो एक साल में हम जितना कमाते they might not have earned it, right? But still they were so happy and we are not. That's the thing. These technological advancement, knowledge and all those things. And what did they learn? मतलब exceptional छोड़ दें तो hardly graduate होके किसी तरह ठीक है. Somehow the only qualification है graduate होंगे and then they get job and they will live happy life. और हमारे जैसे ऐसे शैतान बच्चों को भी पाल लिया, right? हम एक बच्चा होता है तो उसके बाद everything अरे यार बस इसके बाद तो अब नहीं हो सकता, right? और दो दो तीन तीन चार चार तो they were happy people. So these things cannot solve our real life problem. So further, Srila Prabhupada says that it's the same thing which is explained here, but I'll directly go to the highlighted part. The problems of material existence, birth, old age, disease, and death, cannot be counteracted by the accumulation of wealth and economic development. They can achieve real happiness. The people is been talking. They can achieve real happiness only if they consult Krishna or the Bhagavad Gita or and Srimad Bhagavatam, which constitute the science of Krishna through the bona fide representative of Krishna, the man in Krishna consciousness, right? The one which we're discussing. So Arjuna, after discussing all the things, giving all the arguments and everything, he came to the conclusion that I still cannot solve it. And then he took the center. So here in Prapashyami Mama Panudya, right? That I'm not able to, whether I'm so much grieved and I'm not able to drive away this grief. That's what he's saying. I'm not able to find out any solution to this. Right. So there are three pictures. What do you think is common in these three pictures? What is the first picture? Hmm? Everyone is trapped. Okay. These are three pictures. Everyone is trapped. That is correct. That's true. Or kuch. What else do you see here? Everyone is trapped. That is true. We all are trapped. But here is something very interesting here. They are all trying to come out. Yes, everyone who is trapped will try to come out. Hmm? Afraid of death. Yes. Although the first one may not.
Second and third one.
Huh?
The insect was Spider-Man.
But there is one very interesting common thing in all this.
सर्किल का फंसे हुए हैं.
माता जी आपने तो एक्स्ट्रा ही देख लिया पता okay, never thought that. They मतलब that's quite philosophical. आप आँख खोलेंगे तो शायद आप निकल भी सके. Yes, right, very important. And these problems are created by them only. It's not someone else who have created this problem. So we only create the problem and we try to solve doing everything and then we get entangled more and more into that. This is the theme of this whole all three pictures. The caterpillar, they only create this whole coverings around them, right? The silk here, and they get entrapped into that. And yes, there is a life cycle of it, but yeah, they get entrapped into that. Same thing. The second, the fly. When the fly gets stuck into a spider's web, it tries hard to come out of it, and the more it tries, more it gets stuck inside. Same thing in the third picture. It's a what is that? Swamp. Right, it's a swamp, marshland, dal, what we call it. जितना निकलने की कोशिश करते उतना हम अंदर घुसते जाते हैं, like a quicksand. Right. So when the same thing, why this picture? Because this is our life. We get problem, we try to solve by ourselves, thinking that we are the controller, we'll be able to solve it. And the more we try to solve, the more we get into this. Right? We think that okay, अभी ये कर लेते हैं, and then the problem will be solved. Maybe this one will be solved or maybe not, but then a new problem comes up. Right? This is the so Prahlad Maharaj in Srimad Bhagavatam says the same thing. Every so-called solution to a problem we concoct, we create, becomes itself a cause of further problem. He talks the same thing. Whatever we try to solve by ourselves, we create more problems. Right? Anyone who is Marvel fan, they can understand. Anyone who is Marvel fan here? Flash? Think every time he goes back to change the timeline, thinking he will save someone, and then he creates more problem. So that's actually very philosophical. But it's good for entertainment, but it's actually very philosophical. Like something which is bound to happen will happen in every single of his comic or movie or cartoon theme is that whenever he changes a timeline, in the end, whatever happens will happen for sure, right? In another way. So you can never change what is going to happen. But we try our best to ये change कर देंगे वो change कर देंगे we'll do thinking that we are the controllers. We can't. Right. So that's what Prahlad Maharaj says in Srimad Bhagavatam that when he was doing the prayer of Narasimhadev, he tells the same thing. And Brahmaji in the material world, like he says the similar thing that in Srimad Bhagavatam, that you read the Padam Padam Yat Vipadam Natesham. Right? I'll just go to translation. For those who have accepted the vote of the lotus feet of the Lord, Pad Pallav Plavam, right? Lotus feet of the Lord, who is the center of the cosmic manifestation and is famous as Murari, the enemy of the Mura demon. The ocean of the material world is like water contained in the calf's footprint. Their goal is Param Padam, Vaikunt, the place where there are no material miseries, not the place where there is a danger at every step. Right? So this is what Brahmaji said. Like why there is a problem at all step? Because we are getting away from Krishna, and this is the nature of the material world. At every step we'll have the problem, whether we see it or accept it or not. But at every single step we'll have problem. आप खुद सोचो अपनी लाइफ को मतलब don't think of every second but think like when you were 5 year old you have a different kind of problem. फिर आप class 10 में गए there's another or maybe 5th में गए there's another problem. फिर 10th में गए अरे साइंस लेना है कि बायो लेना है there's another problem. ठीक 12th पास किया अब क्या करना है there's another problem. ठीक उसके बीच और प्रॉब्लम्स आती रहते हैं बट एवरी स्टेप यू सी इफ यू see your life graph you'll see like it's always confusion and problem in the life right every step we have problem but we just what we think like this is the way of life so we don't even accept it and because we don't so they just saying right that to solve a problem uh, first you have to क्या बोलते हैं उसको understand नहीं first you have to accept that there is a problem. If we'll not even accept that there is a problem, then we'll not able to solve. We'll never be going to solve it. So first thing we have to accept it. So this world, Davanal, what is called, at every step we'll have the problem, and only the fool people they try to solve the problem by themselves. Like that's what this verse says. So going further in the purport, what Srila Prabhupada mentioned here. Economic development or supremacy over the world can be finished at any moment by the cataclysm of the material nature. When the result of pious activities are finished, one falls down again from the peak of happiness to the lowest status of life. Right, so we discussed that earlier before. That result of pious activity. When we were discussing karma, किसी को याद है karma? How many types of karma? 3. पहला क्या? कर्म and कर और आई थिंक ऐसे लोग जगे रहेंगे when I asked them थोड़े लोग जग गए okay so अकर्म क्या होता है sorry कर्म क्या होता है pious activity the good deeds whatever good thing we do प्यासे को पानी पिलाया ठीक है किसी को भूखे को खाना खिला दिया doing all the morally ethically good things in life those are good deeds karma what will become opposite of karma bad things what we do right किसी को मार दिया किसी का सामान उड़ा ले गए, ठीक, या दूसरे गर्लफ्रेंड लेके भाग गए, ठीक, ऑल द बैड कर्मा। हाँ
गर्लफ्रेंड होते हैं उसमें
हाँ, मतलब ठीक है, गृहस्थ है तो मैं दूसरा कुछ नहीं कहूंगा, लेट्स स्टिक टू गर्लफ्रेंड ओनली, ठीक, ठीक है। तो these are bad karma. So karma, how it balances for the new people, just to recap a little bit. Whether you did good thing or bad thing, good karma or bad karma, you have to pay for it. If you are doing good karma, you have to come in this world again and pay for it. आपने प्यासे को पानी पिलाया है तो आप फिर से आओगे इस वर्ल्ड में एक और बार पानी पीने के लिए, ठीक, यस,
पिला है तो
पिलाया है तो भी आपको आना पड़ेगा पानी पीने के लिए, because it does not get balance. It's not like our bank account की positive negative balance out हो गया, नहीं, all the good karma you have to come and pay for it, all the bad karma you have to come and pay for it. That's where the concept of third thing comes. Akar, do everything with the center, God is at the center, right? When God is at the center, it will not have any result. That's what Lord Krishna says, that, right? सारे कर्मों का फल मुझे दे दो, offer me all the results of your, or all the results of your karma. That is a karma. Like, आप प्यासे को पानी पिला रहे हो, यस, ठीक है, आप भगवान का नाम लेके पानी पिलाइए, आप प्यासे को सॉरी भूखे को खाना खिला रहे हो, आप उनको प्रसादम खिलाइए, दिस विल नॉट हैव एनी रिजल्ट एंड यू डोंट हैव टू पे फॉर इट, दैट इज अ कर्म। सो, or and what happens, this says that when the results of pious activity I accumulated, I'm a very good guy, let's say, not me, someone, let's say Prabhuji is a very good guy, all his life he did all the good things minus God, let's say, आपके लिए नहीं है, चलिए, ठीक, all the good things but God center में नहीं है, then what happens, he will have a great life, he will have again birth near to just इंद्र के बगल में बैठे होंगे प्रभु जी, right, and he will have thousands of years of life. Every happiness what we think of is a momentarily happiness, there will be, that happiness will be lasting years there, like it will be the great experience. But when the whole thing is finished, all accumulation is gone, he will again take birth in this material world again, on the earth again, that is also material world, he will again take birth as a human again, and the cycle repeats, yes, and the cycle repeats. अगर फिर से कोई वैष्णव मिल गया तो फिर ठीक है, मे बी, नहीं तो अगर पहुंच गए सोमालिया तो प्रभु जी बंधु AK-47 लेके, लेट्स लेट्स ग्रैब अ शिप, राइट, तो ऑल डिपेंड्स, सो लेट्स नॉट टारगेट स्वर्ग में जाके एंजॉय करके फिर आने के लिए एंड देन गेटिंग बॉर्न इन सोमालिया, बेटर निकल ले यहाँ से, right. So when the results of pious activity are finished, one falls down again from the peak of happiness to the lowest status of life. It may happen anytime, right? And this important time, economic development or supremacy all over the world. Anyone knows this picture?
partisan
This is partition, right? There was, if you read about it, the most wealthy people in Pakistan were actually these Sindhi people. They were ultra rich people there. When partition happened, इस हालत में they all came back. Many of them did not even survive. There was a train full of all dead bodies which came to India. All the riches, all the economic development, all the money, and this was the state. So one event, one turn, आपने you made a big tower for yourself. Okay, अब तो मेरी जिंदगी ऐसे चलेगी. अब तो किराए से ही मेरी 7 पुस्तक कमाएंगी. एक भूकंप आया, that's it. All over, right? Happened in 2001 in Kutch. Correct. Ek bhukam, just one earthquake and the whole Kutch area was Bhuj, right? It was Bhuj. The whole Bhuj area was destroyed completely. So it just takes a few seconds to completely ruin whatever we have made thinking that it will be our retirement plan or क्या कहते हैं future security. कुछ भी नहीं बचता है. People just एक OTP and we are seeing these things these days, right? अब तो बिना OTP के भी लोग के पैसे गायब हो जाते हैं. Crores and crores of rupees are gone without even with this cyber frauds, right? All those things. और उसके बाद कभी उनको कुछ मिलता भी नहीं. All the life saving 50 years of working and doing that, in a moment it can go, right? So what is the way out? Then what can we do? सब कुछ छोड़ दें? Hmm? The way out is only one. Like make Krishna at the center of it, because only Krishna, only God can, He can only prevent all those things. But it's not easy. हमें कुछ भी होता है, let's say if I'm going out, या आप बाहर जा रहे, पानी पड़ा है, गिर गया, तो पहले मुंह से क्या निकलेगा? आपके मुंह से क्या निकलेगा? What will come out of you? हाँ? हाँ, अरे बाप, हुई बा, अयो, and all this thing will come out, right? This thing, that's the reality, right? Even with everyone. और अगर थोड़े young blood है तो अच्छे explicitive words भी निकलेंगे, right? प्रभु जी is happy. यही तो मैं बोलना चाह रहा था, but I was not just saying it, right? These all will come out. So then, how in this condition, how can we remember Krishna? Not possible, right? But then, if we have to, then we'll have to make a habit, a small habit, like this guy, right? First time he fell down, he just lived. Right. Then maybe consciously try to say Hare Krishna. Right. So every time you say it, because now why? This looks very silly thing to do, right? Or very silly thing to say. But think of a condition, even for a small, very small thing, if you're not remembering Krishna, you think if something big happen, you'll remember Krishna or God. No way, it's not at all possible. Right. So we have to develop that habit from now itself. छोटी छोटी चीजें, like consciously we have to do that. कि कुछ भी हो रहा है, then we have to say कृष्णा का नाम लो, याद करें. जैसे this guy is saying, इसके यहाँ पे गिर गया, second में he hurt. I took very common scenario. First one he slipped on the floor. Second one bed के side में उसके टांग लड़ गई. होता है कि नहीं? हाँ? The most common one. नीचे नीचे तो हमें देखना नहीं होता है, एटलीस्ट विथ हैपन विथ मी ऑल द टाइम, ठीक. एंड देन माय ऑलवेज द नी गोज ऑन द कॉर्नर ऑफ इट हार्ड, एंड देन वन वर्ड कम्स आउट, आई डोंट नो, कुछ तो आता है, राइट? एटलीस्ट वन वर्ड कम्स आउट, दैट इज द मोस्ट, क्या कहते हैं, उस समय लगता है कि बस कोई मिल जाए उसको उठा के पटक दे, क्या हुआ, right? But in those moments which are very common, we should actually try to consciously remember Krishna. Then only we can actually remember Krishna. This whole life, the bhakti means what? This whole life you prepare to go to Vaikuntha, to go to actually Haridham, that you can survive there. And it cannot be when you forget Krishna. So we prepare the whole life, we do the practical whole life just to practice that. Like एक एग्जांपल हमने दिया था, राइट? इफ यू हैव टू गो टू आर्मी, इट्स नॉट लाइक कि अरे कल मेडिकल है, ओके चलो लेट्स गो. इट विल नॉट हैपन लाइक दैट. नो वन कैन पास इट. दे प्रिपेयर फॉर मंथ्स, ईयर्स, कि 10 किलोमीटर आई हैव टू कंप्लीट इन some maybe 20, not 20 minutes, not possible. Say 2 kilometer in 20 minutes or something like that. 55 minutes, 10 kilometer. This kind of practice. If any one of us except someone who is a runner try to do that, will take 1 hour 15 minute bare minimum. Like it, the maximum I could do 1 hour 9 minutes. Right? वो भी इतना, उसके बाद अरे यार हो गया, इससे ज्यादा नहीं हो सकता. Right. So they practice the months, years to do that. Then only they can do. So the whole life we practice just to get to the stage where we can remember Krishna most of the time, if not all the time. Right. So make it a habit. That is the only way out. We have to make a habit to remember. Try to consciously remember, because it will not happen automatically. So we'll have to put conscious effort just to make sure that this is happening at least sometime. Maybe 10 times we hit our knees with the corner of bed. Don't do that. Right. Right. At least 2 times you say. Maybe next time it will be third, fourth. Right. But yeah, don't hurt your knee just because I said in the session कि आज तो जाके लड़ेंगे जबरदस्ती. Okay. So we'll go to next. Now Arjuna has completed his all points. So Sanjay tells Dhritarashtra what is happening. So we'll repeat Bhagavad Gita 2. Sanjay uvacha evam ukta hrishikesham gudakesha parattapa na yutsya iti govindam उक्त्वा तूष्णीं बभूव। संजय उवाच एवमुक्ता ऋषिकेशं गुडाकेशः परन्तप न योत्स्य इति गोविन्दाम् उक्त्वा तूष्णीं बभूव। Anyone from Prabhu's side? Sanjay उवाच एवमुक्ता ऋषिकेशं गुडाकेशः परन्तप न योत्स्य इति गोविन्दाम् उक्त्वा तूष्णीं बभूव। Anyone from Mataji's side? Sanjay उवाच एवं ऋषिकेशं गुडाकेशः परन्तप न योत्स्य इति गोविन्दाम् उक्त्वा तूष्णीं बभूव। The translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Sanjay said, having spoken thus, Arjuna, chastiser of the enemies, told Krishna, Govinda, I shall not fight, and fell silent. Right. So this is the stage where he does this. I will not fight. This is it. So he put down his weapon and then he says that this is it. I'm done. My all arguments are over. Now I'm not going to fight. So some interesting word. You can see that the names which came for Arjuna and Krishna here. What name came from Arjuna? Gudakesh. Gudakesh means? Huh? नींद को जीतने वाला. Okay. What else? Conqueror of ignorance. Same thing. Need is ignorance. Right. And what other name? Parantapa. Parantapa means?
Destroyer.
तपस्वी
नहीं तपस्वी नहीं होता उसका. Destroyer of enemies, chastiser of enemies, or destroyer of enemies. And for Krishna, Govind. Rishikesh. Right. So in one verse, four name came. Why? Again, the reason for it. So Govind means pleasurer, cows. So go means cow also. Go also means one more thing. What does it mean? Golok means cow kalok. Indriya, yes. Go means senses. Right. So the pleasurer of the cows or pleasurer of the senses. Someone who gives pleasure to the senses. So that is Govinda. And Hrishikesa, master of senses. Right, same thing. Not same thing, it's just another name for it. So these four names. So we already discussed the good thing. Right, I don't have to go for that again. So in purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, Dhritarashtra must have been very glad to understand that Arjuna was not going to fight and was instead leaving the battlefield for the begging profession. Why the begging profession? He'll not be getting kingdom. But he said actually, 2-3 months back, he said that it's better to even beg rather than fighting my own Swajan.
Just act very coward. So the only thing that they can do at that point is go and pray.
So, and he said that also, right? Okay, I'll go for begging. Well, they can do that. That is what they have to do. But what if they don't do? But he himself said that it's better to go for begging rather than fighting my own Swajan and killing them. So that's what he says. So here, what happened? Like when Dhritarashtra sees that, when he hears that, not sees that, like seeing in the mind, maybe. Right. When he hears from Sanjay that, okay, this is the chain of event which happened, he felt very excited. Oh, this is what I wanted. Right. It did not start the way I wanted, but at least now it is coming to that stage that Arjuna now is not willing to fight. Arjuna is not willing to fight, but he will go for the begging. So that's it. The kingdom will be with me, and my son will become the king. Problem solved. So he started feeling happy. And when he started feeling happy, Sanjay, he realizes that, okay, too much happiness. Let me be the kebab में हड्डी. नहीं क्या बोलते हैं? Party pooper. Someone who spoils the party. Right. So he uses the word Parantapa and Gunakesh. Gunakesh means conqueror of sleep or the ignorance. Someone who who has won over the ignorance. What is the ignorance? Ignorance is he has forgotten. He has he has forgotten that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. He is Kshatriya, right? And what things he had to do. He has forgotten completely about Swajan, that he is the soul, he is not the body, and all those things. So he has gone into ignorance. And the word of saying here, see, the word Gunakesh is being used here for that reason only. Don't worry, he is the conqueror of ignorance. He will conquer the ignorance. Right? He could have simply said Arjuna, Pandava, whatever. But these all words are strategically used here. Then he used Parantapa. And once he has conquered over the ignorance, he will win over his enemies. He will chastise all his enemies, which are nothing but Kauravas. Right. So that's how Sanjay actually disappoints him again. Again, because one time again it happened in the starting. Right. When the Bhagavad Gita started, in the first few verses, it happened again. When Dhritarashtra was like feeling a little happy, Kim Akurvat Sanjaya. Then he tells all those things, this thing is happening. So he gets disappointed. But after seeing that he has put down weapon, he again started feeling happy. Okay, time to be happy now. And then again he disappoints him. And then he's like, this, what you see in the picture. Sad. Hmm. So Sanjay disappointed him again, relating that Arjuna was competent to kill his enemies, Parantapa. Although Arjuna was for some time being overwhelmed with false grief due to family affection, has surrendered unto Krishna, the supreme spiritual master as a disciple. This indicated that he would soon be free from false lamentation resulting from family affection and would be enlightened with perfect knowledge of self-realization or Krishna consciousness and would then surely find. Thus, Dhritarashtra's joy would be frustrated since Arjuna would be enlightened by Krishna and would fight to the end. And that's why the use of Rishikesh and Govind. His senses are now gone into ignorance. So the use of the word Govind and Rishikesh, that he is with the master of senses. Now Arjuna has already surrendered to the master of the senses. So his senses are coming in line now. So don't worry. He will come out of ignorance and will surely chastise those enemies. So all things together. That's why the name strategically came here. Right. Then okay, then next verse will go. So after that, what happens then? We'll see in the 2.2. तमुवाच ऋषिकेश प्रहसन्निव भारत सेनयोरुभयोर्मध्ये विषीदन्तम् इदं वचः तमुवाच ऋषिकेश प्रहसन्निव भारत सेनयोर सेनयोरुभयोर्मध्ये विषीदन्तम् इदं वचः. Anyone from Prabhuji sir?
तमुवाच ऋषिकेशः
तमुवाच ऋषिकेश प्रहसन्निव
मेथ्यो
सेनयोरुभयोर्मध्ये
विषीदन्तं विषीदन्तं
Tam. Visidantam.
Visidantam idam
Vachaha.
vachaha.
Visidantam idam vachaha. Anyone from Mataji side? Tamuvacha Srikesa Prahasanni Bharata Senayorudevamadye Vishidantam idam vachaha. The translation by His Divine Grace is Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O descendant of Bharata, at the time Krishna, smiling in the midst of both the armies, spoke the following words to the grief-stricken Arjuna. So he used the word Bharata here. For whom? For confusion, right? Right? Someone says Arjun, someone says Dhritarashtra. Right? Still Sanjay is talking. So he'll be talking to Dhritarashtra. But we saw that previously Bharata was used for Arjuna. Then why here for Dhritarashtra? Bharata means what? भारतवर्ष में रहने वाले हाँ भारतवंशी not Bharatar but Bharat के descendant the descendants of King Bharat right so even Dhritarashtra was descendant of Bharat right so he was also pronounced here as a Bharat right and then previously so here very important Senayor Bhayor Madhye this word came before also anyone remembers Senayor Bhayor Madhye in the middle of the both armies. When Arjuna asked 1.21, when Arjuna asked, "Can take my chariot in the middle of the both armies?" Right. And that time, why did he say that? Why did he say take my chariot in between these armies? Wanted to look at them, and then uh, so who have come to fight? And he was in fighting spirit. Okay, let's do it. Okay, let's fight and he was in fighting spirit. But now when he uses this word, Senayorur Bhayor Madhye, then what is his spirit now? This. Right. From that to here, how things changes. Right. Arjuna was great devotee of the Lord. He knew all those things. He was a top scholar, like one of the top scholar. Right. And still when he sees his own relatives, Maya is that strong. Right. From that fighting spirit, let's finish off all. To he comes to, I will not fight, I will go and beg. To that. That strong is Maya. So our Acharya say that if you like they say, well, it's very a lot of places you will read further, right? In the life you always serve someone. Right? Every single person serves someone. But either you serve Krishna or you will serve Maya. Right? But you will be serving someone. So you have to decide whom you want to serve, Krishna or Maya. Right. So very important thing to know. So here, when when we cut off or when we ignore Krishna in our life, that is the moment Maya attacks. And there are so many examples of rishis and munis. At a moment, right? Payal ki आवाज हुई and then that's it. 100 years of tapasya gone in a moment. Game over actually. That's the real that's the correct word. Game over. Right. सारी तपस्या गई. Just that is strong. Right. मतलब those are the क्या मतलब वो तो इतने पहुंचे हुए ऋषि मुनि थे हम क्या ही है ठीक तो so Maya was that strong that Arjuna reached from this stage to here right so now तम उवाच ऋषिकेश मतलब then Krishna spoke those following words Prahasannyiva Bharata Prahasannyiv with a smile now why is Krishna smiling here anyone what could be the reason Krishna is smiling what's funny here
After giving everything, he is saying, don't want to fight. That might be.
हाँ, that's one reason. अर्जुन को खुश करने के लिए स्माइल ये अच्छा है. That's a good spirit. Like a smile and सामने वाला happy हुआ. This is good, right? Like we say that बाहर abroad का culture कितना अच्छा है या और ये है वो है, right? Even strangers when they pass, मतलब aside each other they smile, say good morning, and we do. और इंडिया में smile, कुछ तो गड़बड़ है. क्या आखिर ये चाहता क्या है? मतलब कुछ तो उसको चाहिए होगा. पर्स वर्स है ना? That's what we do, right? मतलब that much insecurity we have in life कि अगर कोई स्माइल भी कर दिया तो ऐसा पहले दिमाग ये है कि कुछ तो गड़बड़ है. अब ये नहीं सोचेंगे भाई स्माइल किया है, ठीक, और फिर ऑफिस में जाकर हम कहेंगे बाहर का कल्चर कितना अच्छा है, सब लोग एक दूसरे को गुड मॉर्निंग बोलते हैं स्माइल करके, ठीक. द सेम पर्सन विल डू दैट. सो दैट्स आल्सो दैट कुड बी वन ऑफ द रीजन टू मेक हिम हैप्पी, बट दैट्स नॉट द रियल रीजन. और क्या रीजन हो सकता है? हाँ, that's a very important reason, yes. So these two reasons mainly, right? It came. Even again what we discussed. पहले तो बहुत खुश होके कृष्णा take my chariot in middle of the both armies. Let me see कौन है जो मुझसे लड़ने आया. Right. Two, this is still I will not fight. So you're like, what this nonsense is happening? So what is so funny thing? Well, you are in so much fighting spirit that time that you are so excited. But this is the time I'll kill everyone and I'll get whatever is rightfully mine. To that extent, I will not fight. Right. So one reason is that he's thinking like, what stupid thing is happening here? And the second, although he knows that, but just a smile. Okay, कहाँ से कहाँ आ गए? Right. And second reason is what you told माता जी. Correct. कि okay, अब मैं भगवत गीता बोल सकती हूँ. Right. Now is the time. बहुत time लिया. It took one chapter and how many? 9 verses to me to start. They're like now he has come to surrender to me. Now he has realized that all the wealth, all the power, all the economic advancement, technological advancement, all the shastra you can have, but it is not really going to solve the problem of your life, the real problems in your life, unless you come to the master, spiritual master, or your supreme lord. Right. So you say that now this guy is realizing what he has to do. It's a lesson not only for him; it's a lesson for us actually. Right. Where we have to go. Hmm. So these two reasons that uh, he started smiling, and but yeah, for a little smile he did. Prahasan knew, right? Not like ha 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 ha, not like Ravan की तरह. Ha 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 ha. आओ अब तो तुम मेरे अंडर आ गए हो. Let's do this. अब चलो मैं तो भगत गीता हूँ. Not like that. So his mind, जैसे हम कभी कभी एक दूसरे को जैसे स्पेशली when we actually don't have to smile but teammate will go. ठीक. I know a lot of people can relate to that. ठीक है बस एक fake smile what we call it है. Fake smile देख के निकल लेना हाँ बस name sake के लिए. So he smiled but then he becomes a little serious also in the same like in next verse we'll see. Then why he becomes serious? What is the reason? What do you think why would he become serious? क्योंकि अभी हाँ गीता स्टार्ट हो गई. Actually that's the correct reason, right? This is something very serious topic. So it cannot be just in my funny way में बता रहा हूँ. It should not be done in that way. Serious thing has to be serious, right? Otherwise people will not take it seriously. मतलब that time was not स्टैंड अप कॉमेडीज नहीं होती थी. ठीक है स्टैंड अप कॉमेडीज को कोई सीरियसली लेता भी नहीं है. ठीक दे लिसन एक कान से सुनते दूसरे कान से निकाल लेते और अगर ज्यादा बोल दिया तो या तो वो स्टूडियो बंद हो जाता है. ठीक है कुछ पॉलिटिकल पार्टी वाले झंडा लेके पहुंच जाएगा अरे कैसे बोल दिया तुमने मेरे पार्टी के बारे में ये लो धाड़ धाड़ मैनेजर पिटता है वो तो पिटता ही है बंदा और उसके दो चार शो कैंसिल हो जाते. बट ऐसा तब नहीं होता था. नाउ नाउ these are new things. So in purport, let's see what Sila Prabhupada says. Dhavid, go inside. तुरंत अंदर जाओ. यहाँ हल्ला नहीं करना. So in purport, Sila Prabhupada writes that. Again, he says that Hrishikesh and Gunakesha. So he explains Hrishikesh, we'll see a little further. So Krishna was smiling because a friend. So till now he was a friend, right? He was everything. He was saying like as a sakha. But now a friend has chosen to become a disciple. As Lord of all, he is always in the superior position as the master of everyone. And yet the Lord agrees to be friend, a son or a lover for a devotee who wants him to be in such a role. Very important line. Very, very important line. Right. We'll see that. But before we go to one line comes here that as a lord of all, he is always in superior position as a master of everyone. Right. So I'll take this opportunity to explain something else. We know that Krishna is master of all. Right. Now let's think of a scenario that the guy is sitting. Who is he? मतलब आप लोग उसको पहचानने की कोशिश मत करिए. It's a simple, just a picture. मतलब don't try to make some names up here. Right. He's a master. Just a general description. And all other are servants. Right. Now think of a scenario. Servants ने सारा खाना बनाया और before even master has eaten, what servant did? चलो खा लेते हैं हम. जब master आएगा देखेंगे. How that scenario will go? Hmm? Anger. Master will become angry. The servants will be fired. This also can happen. What else? Well, it's not a good thing, right? Of course. But isn't that what we do? Hmm? This is a more of a scenario for us. This picture is only for that reason. That Krishna is master of everything. We know that. We very well, not a single person here is there who does not understand it. But then, before even master eats, before even we offer to master, like पहले हम ही खा लेते हैं, master दिखाएगा देखेंगे. We do that, right? So the whole purpose of bhoga is this. Like it is not, it is for the pleasure of Krishna. But why? Because he is master of everything. Because of him only whatever we have, we have. So think of a scenario like Dhavit is there. And he takes 10 rupee from me, Papa मुझे chocolate लेके आना है. And he goes to a shop and gets a chocolate. Or maybe think yourself as a father or mother scenario. Your kid goes and buys a chocolate. And then when he comes back, he takes a small piece of it and give it to you. How would you feel? Very happy, right? You don't need it that chocolate. You don't need that chocolate. You can buy tens of it. But that small act, one very small insignificant, I will not call it insignificant, but very small act of love, that creates so much a great feeling in our heart. Right? People say, क्यों भोग लगाना है? भगवान के पास कमी है क्या? Have you anyone heard this question? नहीं? Okay. हाँ? भगवान कौन सा खा रहे हैं, ठीक है? खाते तो सब आप ही हो, क्यों भोग लगाना है? What thing? आपको कैसे पता कि वो नहीं खा रहे? You can ask them.
Eating. What? Who is God who eats this food?
ठीक. तो because one thing, that small act of love, that shows that we love God. ठीक. We are preparing things for Him, even though ultimately it's we who is going to eat. Right? We prepare things. हाँ मैं ये खाता हूँ. We prepare only that. But at least what we do, we offer to Lord first. Hmm? That is small act, and God, what our shastra says that whatever bhog he takes, whatever prasad, matlab prasad is something which after bhoga we get, right? Whatever amount he gets, that's something called sthul and sukshma, right? Sthul is something which is visible. Sukshma is something atomic level. Even if he eats one atom, would we even know? We won't even know, right? So a lot of shastra says that कि वो एक एक इतना छोटा सूक्ष्म पार्ट खाते हैं, ठीक है, कि आपको पता भी नहीं चलेगा he has eaten anything. And yes, I'm coming to that. And second thing, what shastra says that he does not he does not care for your whatever you have given, but he sees the intention, not only for the bhoga, but for everything we do. We have heard the stories of Lord Jagannath, right? We have heard stories of a lot of Krishna stories. एक कृष्णा को एक क्या कहते हैं, where did he go? And there was a lady, she was so bhawvival, she was so happy seeing him that she was just peeling banana and giving him banana ka chilka, ठीक है, and banana रख रही थी, मतलब she was like completely lost, and he was eating with so much, हाँ विदुर की, हाँ right right, विदुर की, विदुर की wife, right? He was eating happily. He did not even say a word. What he sees is the intention. When a old lady, she went to Lord Jagannath, we heard this story this time, whoever have attended, right? She went with a neem powder. तो सारे पुजारी उनको भगा दिया, अरे नीम पाउडर क्या लेके आओ, भगवान को तीखा खिलाओगे, मतलब आर यू गोइंग टू गिव दिस थिंग टू लॉर्ड, राइट? And Lord made sure that those pujari go and find those old lady to get the neem powder again. Right. He created such a scenario. Right. So what he says in intention, not really कि हम क्या कितना खा रहे क्या नहीं खा रहे. But yes, non-devotee cannot understand that. So it's okay. We don't have to prove to someone, right? Prove करके क्या करेंगे? आज वो कल कोई और. Right. What we have to see is our progress, our advancement, what we are doing, not what we are showing. It's not a show. क्या कहते हैं? It's not a art gallery की जहाँ हमें show कर रहा है. Right. It's something what we have to do for the Lord. So Lord Chaitanya says that Jivera Swarup hoy Krishnera Nityadas. Right. Krishna is the master of all. And we as a soul, our nature is to serve the master. Right. Like here servants are serving the master. So same thing. So I just thought like when master top is coming, we had the prasadam earlier, so why not talk a little bit about it. Right. So second thing, here, as Lord of all, he is always in superior position, as master of everyone, and yet the Lord agrees to be a friend, a son, a lover for a devotee who wants him in such a role. Right? See this picture. What is the first picture? He is in the role of son, right? Because Devki and Vasudev, they wanted him to be their son, and this is the third time actually they had son. Anyone knows? Third time they had Krishna as their son. This was not the first time. So, in previous life, there was a Prishni. Devaki was Prishni, and in the what? Sorry. Huh. Right. So there, and then next life also. I forgot some name, and Garbha was there. Right. Until later. Right. So this is the third time they like Krishna was born out of womb of Devaki Mata. Right. Then here he took a role of like how we want, but not us. Not it's not for us. It's for the great devotees. They want to see Krishna in some particular role, right? And God actually reciprocates those things. Like Devki and Vasudev, they wanted Krishna as their son. He came as their son. Then the second picture, the gopis, they wanted Krishna as their lover in Madhuri Ras, right? He gave the reciprocation to all those gopis. There's one story, uh, not in Valmiki Ramayana, but I think from Ramcharitmanas comes, that these were the sadhus who wanted to actually be with Lord Ram. Then he says that कि, this time I'm ek patni vrata, I have taken ek patni vrata, but in next birth you will all be like my lover. Right. So Madhuri Rath. In Ramcharitmanas it comes sad, I guess. Right? Hmm. So he reciprocates his Madhuri Ras to all the gopis. In third picture, so Sakya Ras, they all were friends. Some the devotee who wanted Krishna to be their friend, he reciprocates that. And fourth picture, Dasya nahi, it's a Dasya nahi, it's a Sisya. Right. So here he is reciprocating as a guru. So that's where he becomes a little serious. Now that he has become a guru, so he'll be, and he is going to give a serious lesson. So he is going to be little serious. But one very important lesson here, right? A lot of time we think that माता जी ने एक बार क्वेश्चन भी पूछा था बहुत पहले. I remember from the starting of the class कि I think or I consider Krishna as my friend or friend only, right? Huh? My brother, right? Is that correct? So, first of all, we have to come to that level that we can consider him whatever we want. Until we are at that level, he is nothing but our master. राइट जो भक्ति की 9 सीढ़ियां होती हैं जब आप उसे भाव और प्रेम के स्तर पे when we reach the second last and last one, that is when someone is actually called a devotee. We are at the first, even we are not even at the first level, forget like at the first step, right? हम अभी अधो श्रद्धा लेवल पे भी नहीं है, right? अनर्थ निवृत्ति तो उसके भी बाद है. अधो श्रद्धा means someone who has a little faith that. But we are not actually. Niran Prabhu can prove 20 times that we are not. Anything happens in our life, we don't leave it at Krishna, right? We don't have that kind of faith still. So we are not at the first level also. So considering him at some relation with us, probably we'll have only when we reach to that stage. But before that, he is nothing but our master. We can just pray कि we can get progress in bhakti. कभी तो वो level आ जाए कि we can think him uh, as our lover, as our son, as our brother, as our friend, whatever, right? And this actually comes to a very important point. Even still, a lot of people, especially when you go to Vrindavan, there are a lot of school of thoughts who do that. When we went to Vrindavan, we met a girl, and she was very happy. We were having, so anyone who goes to Vrindavan, Braj, right? So it's a very important norm, or it's not a written rule, but it's good to have a food at some Brajvasi's home. Okay, you pay for it, but you have food in there. It's considered very. It gives a different kind of feeling, right? So when we were having food, there was one lady. She came there and she was cutting vegetable. कि मुझे सब्जी बना, मुझे काट, मतलब मुझे सब्जी काटना है, मुझे खाना बनाना है. Okay, ठीक है, मतलब we're just hearing. Said I'm getting married today. Like okay, congratulations. Say वो ठीक है. I told them. Then I didn't know कि ठीक है, मतलब शादी हो रही है. That's okay. It's a fine thing. मतलब हाँ नहीं. ठीक है. Then after a little bit more toxicity, I'm going to get married to Krishna. You're like what? Okay. See, I'm not going to marry again. I'll get married to Krishna. Right? This kind of Sahjiya school of thought, that's they are called Sahjiya. Right? They think themselves like कि हम तो कृष्ण की गोपियां हैं. They will do all the makeup and all those things and बस नाचेंगे, गाएंगे, कूदेंगे. When a devotee are at that stage, even Lord Chaitanya, when he was in so ecstasy, like we discussed that in one of the chapter where we were discussing the feeling of ecstasy, right? Such kind of devotee, they don't show these things in the general public because public cannot understand this, right? And they are at so advanced level that they don't have to go ahead and advertise. आज तो मेरी कृष्णा से शादी होने जा रही है. Right. This is all really nonsense school of thought and really nonsense practices. And क्या ही बोला? ठीक. Foolishness, but whatever it is, who are we to stop anyone? Maybe they are get married. Right. So whatever role a devotee, the real devotee, thinks Krishna as his relation, like then Krishna reciprocates that role in a way. Okay. Now, the word here comes a very important one, Rishikesa. Right? We discussed what is the meaning of Rishikesa, right? Master of the senses. Now, some Acharya explain this thing in a very, uh, very deep way. This is going to be a shocking fact for a lot of people. What the next line is. Krishna is a perfect brahmachari. Right? But who said that? Anyone knew that this fact? That Krishna is a brahmachari, 16,108 raniya, 16,108 wives, so many gopis, and still it is said that Krishna is a perfect brahmachari. How is that possible? The same question the same question gopis had. So when gopis were preparing food for giving dan, So they asked Krishna कि किसको हम ये food दें? To whom should I offer this food? To a rishi Muni. He said, you go and give to Durvasa Muni. But Durvasa Muni used to live other side of Yamuna. So they said, but how can we cross Yamuna and that also with this much food? So Krishna said that, okay, you go and tell Yamuna, Krishna is a brahmachari and you will get away. They're like, what are you saying? The whole day you play with us, right? You just dance with us and you are saying you are perfect brahmachari. How is that possible? But okay, you are saying that anyway we have to get the food, so let's do it. So when they actually said that to Yamuna, Yamuna gave the way. And they are very surprised. They reached Durvasa Muni's ashram and they asked, ki, this happened, like how is that possible? So Durvasa Muni gives a lot of reasons. You can read it about it later. This is one. Who else said that? In Padma Puran, there is a story comes where Mata Parvati had the same doubt, and she asked Lord Shiva, matlab, how can you say that Krishna is a perfect brahmachari? Right. And Lord Shiva also clarifies that doubt about giving about all about tattva. Right. Ki if someone is everything, even brahmacharya comes from him, so there is nothing which is applicable for him. There's a deep discussion. We'll not go into that. Then another time, there are a lot of times this question comes. In Srimad Bhagavatam also, Parikshit Maharaj also had the same doubt. So he asked Sukadeva Goswami, Ki, what are you saying? Krishna is a perfect brahmachari. How is that possible? Right. And then he also clarifies the doubt. Maybe that's a homework. Next time you come with. Huh? Okay, what were the reasons which were given? So, Krishna is a perfect brahmachari. And he is the master of all the senses. And what to say about Krishna? Right. Even his devotees get the qualities of Krishna. So anyone knows who's the second in the second picture? Who is the person? No, Haridas Thakur. Right. So Haridas Thakur was a great. He is called Namachari. He used to chant 3 lakhs names of Lord in a day. 192 rounds every day. That is a minimum. It was not maximum. That was the minimum. So, and he was from a Muslim community. He was born Muhammadan. Right. So we discussed that word, right? This verse. Where it's gone. This one. Right. Kibo vipraki banyasi sudre ke naya. यही कृष्ण तत्व में तैसे ही गुरु है यार. He was a guru because he knew the Krishna tattva. But he was not even allowed to go to a lot of congregation or lot of sadhu sangh because he was a Muslim. Right? People were just rejecting him, but he was very dear to Lord Chaitanya. And so one day there were some people who, some rivals when I say some jealous people, some people who were envious of him. Right? So they wanted to break his tapasya. But this is tapasya, nothing but chanting and nothing but tapasya. Right? तो मुझे बस को दिक्कत कर देंगे. Right. So some people wanted to just break his tapasya. Right. And so they sent one prostitute to break his, जैसे मेनका को भेजा गया था. Right. Same way. But यहाँ पे वो मुनि नहीं थे. So what he said that when this lady comes to him and she was very beautiful, one of the most beautiful lady of the whole area, they said him, इससे तो जरूर मतलब his tapasya will be gone. ठीक है. So she goes to him and she says that कि मुझे आपसे मिलना है, मतलब मैं आपसे मिलना चाहती हूँ, ठीक है. And तो he said that मतलब I want to have your company. They said, okay, ठीक है, we'll have company, but let me complete my chanting today. I have not completed it. ठीक है. तो he did the chanting. रात हो गई, सो गए, सुबह उठी. I said, okay, मतलब कल तो आपकी chanting नहीं हुई थी. तो कहा हाँ आज की मेरी हो जाए तो फिर we'll enjoy. So for 3 days he did the same thing. This lady was, after 3 days, she surrenders herself to him and she says that कि मैं मूर्ख थी जो मैं ये काम कर रही थी. She tells everything. कि I am sent by some people to do this thing, right? And I was very fool and I have done so many sins. Please save me. And she became his disciple. Right? That qualities. So Lord Krishna is a brahmachari. It's not just these three people. Even when Bhishmadev, when he was on the deathbed, on the bed of arrows, he said the same thing to Lord Krishna when he was doing the prayer. And he declares that time that there is only there is a there is no other bigger brahmachari than me in this world than Lord Krishna. Right. That Bhishmadev also declares. So yeah, that the whole point was the master of senses, right? He can control the senses, not for only others, but for himself also. Being in the midst of so many gopis and all those things, he's still a brahmachari, you can think of it. So Vishnu was saying the same thing, like, had I been in that situation, 100% sure, like I would not have been brahmachari. Right? And Krishna being been among all those people, all those beautiful gopis, he's still brahmachari. That itself is a big thing. So, senior madhye. So here one very important, like in this verse, in the same, I'll read the last one. It appears that the talk between the master and the disciple was openly exchanged in the presence of both armies so that all were benefited. So the talks of Bhagavad Gita are not for any particular person, society or community, but they are for all, and friends or enemies are equally entitled to hear them. Right, very important line. Senior madhye, it is not just कि बीच में ले जाओ, but everyone who's around this conversation, they all were listening. Duryodhan, all the Kauravas, all the nearby soldiers from Pandava side, everyone was listening. So what does it tell? मतलब वो कोने में भी जैसे हम कहते गोपचुप चलो तुमको बताऊं, ठीक, वो भी जाके पहले बता देते उनको किनारे. But no, he told that in between all the army. What does it say? हाँ, कि भगवत गीता is for everyone. It's not just for Arjuna. ठीक. It's for every single person. But it is for every single person, no doubt. And that's why it is available. आपको 10 रुपए फ्री से लेके 10,000 15,000 के भी सोने वाला लीजिए तो मे भी 1 2 लाख के में मिल जाएगी. ठीक, मतलब you can get in as costly as you want, as cheap as you want. Right. So it is available for everyone. But still, when it was told in midst of both armies, not everyone could understand it. Actually, no one except Arjuna could understand it. Why so?
They were not hearing attentively.
Okay, that was not truth. We can't say that. But yes, what else? They did not surrender to Krishna. Yes, that's one thing. Yes, what else? No, that's not a reason. That time everything was a song. Like we have musicals in these days in movies, right? So everything was like all the Mahakavya you see, Ramayana is a Kavita, right? Mahabharata is a Kavita. These are called Mahakavya. The Puran, Vedas, these all have meters. All slokas are actually sung. Right? That's how they learn. मे भी एक बहुत बोरिंग तरीके से अगर मैं भगवत गीता या हम अगर भगवत गीता पढ़ना शुरू करें एक एक वर्ड ऐसे ऐसे सेनियोर उबियोर मध्य विदाउट एनी टोन मे बी विल नॉट रिमेम्बर इट बट व्हेन वी सिंग इट we actually sometimes मतलब a lot of time we remember that, right? So most of the things were song, but in Bhagavad Gita 9.1 Bhagwan says that, right? Idam tu te guhyatam, guhyatamam actually, not guhyatam. So guhya क्या होता है? Anyone knows guhya? Secret. Then there is something called guhyatar, more secret, and there is a guhyatam, topmost secret, confidential, area 51. Or does alien exist? That kind of thing, which we hear all the conspiracy theory, right? It's confidential, you will not know. So those kind of things. Guhya tamam. So even though it is available for the whole world, everyone has it, right? सबके पास भगवत गीता होती है. But still, how many people actually read it or how many people can understand it? That's important because it's a Guhya Tamam Gyan. Guhya Tamam is a topmost secret. It is with you, but still you cannot understand it. It's like uh, our Acharya gave an example. You have a box, a treasure box, right? With so many monies and treasures and gold and all what all thing. What you don't have is the key. Right? What's the use?
खुलेगा ही नहीं.
हाँ भाई. Right. So Bhagavad Gita is like that. ठीक, you have Bhagavad Gita but वो खुलेगा ही नहीं. यहाँ पे खुल भी जाएगा तो यहाँ नहीं खुलेगा. Same thing. So Bhagavad Gita is like that only. And who has the key for it? Guru. Who is coming from a disciplic successor. Right. We discussed that also in one of the sessions. Right. Only a guru has the key who can open Bhagavad Gita for you. So it's a Guhyatamam. Yeah. And so all the soldiers, Duryodhan, everyone was listening to Bhagavad Gita, but still only Arjuna could understand. Because one more reason is there. Like other people, like say, example Duryodhan, they were envious of Krishna. And anyone who has envy towards Krishna, they can never understand this. They can never have anything, like not just Bhagavad Gita. None of this spiritual knowledge they can have. So in this verse it is say, idam tu te guhyatamam pravachyam ve anusuyave. So he says that you are qualified. Lord says that you are qualified. To Arjuna he says you are qualified because you have behavior like Anusuya. Right? Anusuya means someone who is not envious of me. So that's why you will be able to grab this knowledge, or you will be able to understand this knowledge. And then Gyan Vigyan Sahit. Gyan Vigyan, what is Gyan? Anyone knows? Knowledge, Vigyan?
Science.
Science. What is science actually? ये भी एक science है. Political science भी एक science है. तो ज्ञान भी तो मात्र वो कर सकता है. But science has a very specific over, like in your science exam, what all things you had? Theory and practical. Gyan is your theory. Vigyan is when you have with the practical. So your experience, your science is not complete without you do this resonance experience. एक बार इधर से मारो उधर जाएगा, उधर से मारो इधर आएगा. और वो ग्रेविटी जिसका आता तो था 10 पॉइंट कुछ और हम उसको चेंज करके 9.8 करते हैं. ठीक. तो science is useless without your experiment. So ज्ञान विज्ञान मतलब when you actually say about विज्ञान, विज्ञान means experience. Right? What you have experienced of that knowledge, that is Vigyan. So Gyan Vigyan Sahit. And when you get the knowledge, when you experience this knowledge, then what happens? Mokshaste Ashubha. Means you shall be relieved of the miseries of the material existence. So the crux of today's session is, what is the crux? कोई? एक घंटे बर्बाद हुए. मेक कृष्णा इज द सेंटर ऑफ एवरीथिंग. यस, आप आज नए हैं तो इसलिए आपको वो क्रक्स लग रहा है. बट आज के सेशन का क्या क्रक्स है अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट? फूड. वेरी गुड. मेक श्योर दैट वी विल नॉट स्टार्ट विथ फूड अगेन. व्हाट अदर? Surrendering to Lord, right? So in Bhagavad Gita, last, anyone knows what Lord says at the end? सर्वधर्म परित्यज्य. उसका नेक्स्ट क्या है? मतलब लीव ऑल द रिलीजन, कम टू मी. एंड नेक्स्ट वन? नहीं प्रभु जी, ये तो बीच में है. आप कहाँ से कहाँ पहुंच गए? ये अभी बहुत पहले. नहीं. He says that whoever tells this knowledge, this guhyatamam gyan to the people, he is the dearmost to me. Right? So that is what we should do. The crux of the session is, we should take this knowledge to the people. We should tell anyone. ठीक, बहुत बहुत तरह के नॉलेज आपको देने के. मम्मी से बात कर रहे हैं, अरे मम्मी आज मैंने ये सीखा. मम्मी को इंटरेस्ट नहीं, बट एक बात आप हमको सुना दीजिए. ठीक, एक बार और अगली बार मत बता. अगली बार वही गए, अरे तुम कहाँ जा रहे हो? शादी नहीं कर रही है क्या? इस्कॉन जा रहे हो? लगता है इसको शादी नहीं कर रही है. ठीक, तो आप उनको समझा दें कि इस्कॉन में सभी लोग शादी करते हैं, एक्सेप्ट कुछ प्रभु जी लोग को. मैं आपको नहीं बोल रहा हूँ. I'm not talking about you. बट यहाँ आप ही बैचलर है. So you are the obvious candidate here, right? So Mataji लोग सभी लोग शादी करते हैं, right? So what we can understand that even though this knowledge for everyone, you have to surrender to Guru. You have to go to the Guru who is coming from disciplic succession to understand this. And it does not just stop there, but we also have to spread the knowledge of Sri Krishna to as many people as possible. Right? That's when we'll become dearmost to Lord Krishna. And tell the glories of Lord and without any discrimination, not like कि ये no caste, creed, religion, right? We saw that, right? Haridas Thakur, he was a Muslim, and there are hundreds of such examples, right? Where Krishna Bhaktar of we heard the story of कौन थे जिनके लिए रथ रुकता है जगन्नाथ सालवे नहीं नाम था कुछ और नाम मुझे याद आ रहा है उनके पिताजी का क्या नाम था लाल लाल बेग हाँ साल बेग अच्छा उसको आप सालवे बोल रहे हो कि साल बेग ओके दैट्स व्हाट आई थॉट 4 लेटर का नाम था साल बेग राइट हाँ तो साल बेग देयर लॉट ऑफ डिवोटीज ऑफ लॉर्ड हु आर लाइक मुस्लिम्स and from other these things are man-made things these are really does not matter in the eye of the Lord right so anyone whom we can give the gyan about we can tell about Krishna we should take the opportunity to do that right? And tell them about Lord and tell them about the glories of chanting Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna any questions हाँ बताइए क्वेश्चन मुझे लगा आप क्वेश्चन पूछ रहे आई गॉट वन फीडबैक कि मेरे क्लास में क्वेश्चन नहीं आते दूसरे क्लास में बहुत क्वेश्चन आते हैं वाई सो इतना बुरा मैं बोलता हूँ
इतना अच्छा बोलते कुछ कुछ नहीं
ऐसा नहीं होता है यहाँ पे सब लोग सोते हैं आंखें खुली है आई रिमेम्बर वन ठीक है तो उससे पहले आई जस्ट फिनिश once I come to the sacrifice in the picture of the Yogesh Kavita, the good installed the picture scene of the park in the time Hare Krishna. Okay. So in other class